恭喜谢谢。
Now, this is very interesting. Coming up, we've got a meeting between a great young prospect from Brazil, the 19-year-old Leonardo Izuka. And this is what's coming up on table number 1 in session 1 of day 3. Next, a wonderful opportunity for a highly regarded young man from Brazil, Leonardo Izuka. He will face Wong Chu-chin, the number 2 seed, the world number 1 ranked player until quite recently. So, what will we see from Wong Chu-chin as he faces a young man who's desperate to make a name for himself here at the biggest stage? There he is, the young Brazilian, Leonardo Izuka, contemplating the task ahead of him, contemplating the challenge of a lifetime, and contemplating what has been a very good spell for him of late. He ended last year in terrific form. He better be in terrific form. He will be facing Wong Chu-chin, the 25-year-old world number 2, the number 2 seed, and until not so long ago, the top-ranked player on the planet. A 7-time champion of the world faces Leonardo Izuka for a place in the 3rd round of the men's singles competition at the World Table Tennis Championships in Doha, Qatar. Best of 7 games in singles competition at these World Championships. How long will it take for Wong Chu-chin to dispatch this ambitious youngster, or will we see the shock of shocks? World number 77, Leonardo Izuka. He's at a career high. Congratulations to him. A career high of world number 1, as I'm sure many of you remember all too well. Wong Chu-chin was the highest ranked player out there. He is now world number 2. He remains an absolutely formidable prospect. This should be great entertainment. Peter Chung has the honour of looking after it, and will hand over now for the toss of the coin. And we say huge congratulations to all of the officials on their selection for these World Table Tennis Championships. It's a big moment in their careers, not just in the careers of the athletes themselves. Big moment for the coaches too.
Players, please come. Okay, blue and red. You want red? Red. You want to receive? Sides. Okay.
We are poised to begin. What an opportunity this is.
Receive, right?
For Leonardo Izuka, the young Brazilian, the 19-year-old who faces Wong Chu-chin from the People's Republic of China, the world number 2 and the number 2 seed. Fraser Riley is alongside me. Well, Fraser, there is no point pretending that this is anything other than an enormous task for Leonardo Izuka, but he'll be relishing it.
It's an enormous opportunity. It's the biggest match of his life. This is the kind of match that you're wanting as a young player against a superstar in the world of table tennis. It's the ultimate catalyst. How will he perform? He's got to treat this as a learning experience, come here with no pressure on his shoulders whatsoever, but at the same time, don't suffer from any kind of imposter syndrome. Focus on what you can control, and you may be able to cause a few issues, even against a player like Wong Chu-chin.
7% of you are fancying an upset. 7% of you think that Leonardo Izuka is about to make himself a global name. Congratulations to the young man on making world number 77, his career high coming into these championships. Perfect time to do it when you come to the world stage in the best form of your life. He's also an Olympian, competed at the Games in Paris. turned 19 on the 7th of April and celebrated the occasion with his parents. He thanked them for always being by his side. He's a very articulate and very mature young man. He's got real humility. We've got a real presence of the Chinese fans in the crowd, waiting to see Wong Chu-chin pick up a victory. Will they be happy at the end of this one? Let's find out. All the pressure really on that gentleman. He can play with freedom and can celebrate this occasion. Let us begin.
Game 1. Wang to serve. Lava. One love.
Let us not pretend for a moment that Leonardo Izuka is some youngster who's appeared out of nowhere, who's stumbled into the World Table Tennis Championships and accidentally got a match with Wong Chu-chin. That would be a complete act of disrespect towards a super young player. He's the outsider, but he's high quality. In the first round, he beat Olajide Omatayo 12-10-11, 7-11, 8, 10-12, 11-5. Had a tough match and won it well. He's based in Germany. He plays for Ochsenhausen. That right there is an enormous badge of honour. Anyone associated with that club is top class. He's just signed a 2-year extension with them as well. So they know they're onto something special with him.
He's top 10 in the world for his age category. Remember that. Taking Huang Yo-tsung, our left-hander, trying to follow in the footsteps of Wang Chu-chin very closely at the World Youth Championships. He's quick, he's agile, he reads the game well. He possesses a lot of power, but so far Wang Chu-chin has been able to handcuff him, especially in the serve-receive.
Wang Chu-chin beat Nada Naresh 11-6, 11-4, 11-2, 11-4. The American dispatched in straight games.
Love 6.
It's not a surprise at all, the start we've seen here from Wang Chu-chin.
Fascinating that you touched upon the fact that he's playing in Ochsenhausen. That's where Calderano's been playing for a long time.
Love 7.
And what a model to have in your national team.
Yes, we might say Ugo Calderano a little more quietly around Wang Chu-chin, considering what happened in the semi-finals of the World Cup.
Wow, yeah.
He's probably quite keen to dominantly beat a Brazilian player right now, isn't he, Wang Chu-chin?
Yeah, and that's safe to say.
Seven, 2.
Little signs now we're seeing from the young Brazilian.
He's proven to himself here that he can win a couple of points. Let's see if that boosts his confidence. We've seen a lot of videos on social media. You know, pro players choosing their dream player. You know, which player has the best shot of each category. When asked about the serve, Wang Chu-chin picked himself.
Well, you've got to have confidence in yourself if you're going to go all the way to #1 in the world, if you're going to win 7 world titles. He is here to win the singles world title. That's the one that he's chasing, and he's got 8 game points here for the opener.
It was side spin to deal with there, curving closer and closer towards his body. What about that for a wisping winner?
10-3.
That's my favourite shot of Leonardo Izuka. His backhand Chiquita. It's a really short one. Produces a lot of side spin. Very wristy shot. Have to be very relaxed to play that. Good finisher as well.
11-3. Game 2.
11-3. The opening game secured by Wang Chu-chin. Strong start from the #2 seed. Now we'll see what response we get from Leonardo Iizuka after the opener.
Time.
He'll certainly have heard that. A familiar chants of his adoring fans, Wang Chuqin.
Game 2, Iizuka to serve.
Posed the odd little problem here and there for Wang Chuqin in the opening game. Can he do it more consistently now as game #2 begins?
Love 1.
It's almost uncontainable, that forehand of Wang Chuqin. Look how straight his arm is when he plays it, a lot straighter than European players. It's a big stroke, yet he's able to recover so quickly. You'll barely ever see Wang Chuqin play 2 backhands in a row. He'll pivot and look to get that in as the point ender.
That 1-all.
And he can do it even off a barely attackable ball. That's one of the scariest things.
2-1.
Right idea from Iizuka. If you're going to go long with conviction.
Young Leonardo Iizuka had one of the biggest moments of his life at the Pan-American Under-19 Championships in September of last year in Peru. Won the Under-19 singles, team and men's doubles titles, all in the same event. Fantastic accomplishment. Said it was the start of a turning point for him. He'd had some health issues over the past couple of years. He hadn't been getting the results that he wanted. 2024 was, particularly the second half, was his big transformation.
That's 2-3.
Yeah, that's a real breakthrough moment, and I think one that he's thoroughly deserved.
He went on
4-2.
to the World Youth Championships at the end of the year in Sweden to take 2 bronze medals in his last time playing at that level in the under-19 category. Partnered to Thiago Abiodun in the boys' doubles and also finished 3rd in the singles. So the trajectory is excellent for him.
5-2.
And it may be this is the kind of match that is about 4 or 5 years too early, but is a great learning experience at this stage.
Well, we've seen younger players defeat Wang Chuqin at big events. But no, absolutely right, Ollie.
2-6.
We've got some impressive youngsters at these championships.
Let's shout out Benjamin Faraji.
I thought you might mention him.
He defeated Wang Yang, the Slovakian chopper, yesterday in 7 games. Imagine you got to see a chance to see Wang Chuqin take him on for the second time.
2-7.
It's been interesting for Wang Chuqin. You know, a win record in the 90% margins. Mixed emotions at the Olympics. And then after being defeated by Moragard there, had a real purple patch. And then that resurgence at the finals in Fukuoka, winning that event, winning the champions in Chongqing. He's back again now. Credit to him.
8-3.
And he is very close to a 2-love advantage. young man from Jilin City in the northeast of the People's Republic of China, one of the oldest cities in that part of the country. It has a little in common with Doha in that it had a huge role as a shipbuilding centre in the 1600s. Doha with its own maritime trading history and the dhow boats that are still lining the coast. As he's lining up the points here, Wang Chuqin, 7 game point opportunities.
11-3, game 2,
Well,
Wang.
it's exactly the same margin as we had in the opener. 11-3. He's well on the way to a nice quick victory here, unless Leonardo Izuka can really rapidly turn this around. Tough match for the young man. There's no shame in that. He's taking on a great. Wang Chuqin, the number 2 ranked player in the world behind Lin Shidong, and Ugo Calderano right over his shoulder, as was the case at the World Cup when Calderano beat him in the semi-final stage.
Game 3, Wang to serve, love.
Game number 3 about to begin. So far so good for Wang Chuqin.
1 love.
Just looking very secure, very untroubled, very unconcerned.
Yeah, imperious on the table, relaxed in the mind.
1 all.
What I will say, though, is I'd be very surprised to see another 11-3. I think this game might be a little bit closer.
2 1.
What can Izuka do to maximise the strengths that he has in a match like this that is so fearsomely difficult?
Well, he has all the shots required to beat Wang Chuqin. It's a question of timing.
3.
Do you have the composure in real time to go for the right one?
And that is where it's very rare for anyone at that age to have all of those pieces in place.
Benjamin Faraji did very well at attacking and then slowing down the game, then blocking, playing actually with slightly higher trajectory balls. You don't want to try and go toe-to-toe, pace for pace against Wang Chuqin, because that's training pace for him. You've got to constantly disturb the rhythm. Look at the, well, a couple of players that have beaten him. Anders Lind, Troels Morgard. Scandinavians, very, very good at disturbing the rhythm, jamming up the opponent, being tricky, being elusive, subtle. You have to be subtle. I think that's the key characteristic you have to take on a Chinese star.
You said you didn't expect it to be another 11-3 game. You expected it to be tighter. Absolutely the case. From Leonardo Izuka.
Played that backhand flick again, nicely as well. But Wang being proactive, refusing to get stalled by the spin, making that compound movement to get the forehand in again. Oh, that's amazing. Right off the bounce, finishing with the inside-out forehand. That was impressive, Ollie.
One wonders if maybe, just maybe, Leonardo Iizuka has loosened up a little after those first couple of games, has started to almost play with that lack of pressure that one wanted him to play. Can you imagine if he'd got that?
I went for the bar in the back. No, that's it. I think he's just been humbled. He's been humbled early on in the match. And now he's playing with a bit more freedom to his game.
7-5.
He's a very enjoyable young player to watch, and certainly it will be exciting to see where his career goes over the next few years. He can look at someone like Hugo Calderano as evidence of the fact that it may take a little time to find your very finest form. But once you find it, once you work it out, then anything can happen.
8-5.
But Wong Chu-chin is only 3 points away from getting the third of the 4 games required.
Gorgeous counter. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see Iizuka in the top 30 in the world. I'm really impressed with him. He's even got a few nods out of Wang Hao. You know you're doing something right when you're able to do that.
Did a lot right in that point, didn't he? But still comes away facing 5 game points.
Punished for something he didn't even do wrong. Where on earth is the justice in that?
It is
11-5.
a third game for Wong Chu-chin. A closer contest, as the gentleman next to me anticipated it might well be. Better outcome from Leonardo Iizuka, but just one more required for Wong Chu-chin. 11-3, 11-3, 11-5. He's nearly there. More to come, much more to come. Sun Ying-sha is soon to be in action. And this does not look like a particularly easy prospect. Pyeon Song-gyong from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea awaiting. Most intriguing. We've got such a great day of table tennis action. We're thrilled to have your company wherever in the world you're watching from. Thank you so much for being part of this most prestigious occasion in the sport, the World Table Tennis Championships. Yes, day 3, maybe doubles day, but we can just about find the space to pack in some blockbuster singles matches of added value for you as well. Let's go to game number 4.
Just to add a little bit, spice-wise, into the context of this match, it's especially important that Wong Chu-chin makes a statement here, keeps a squeaky clean record until he meets a major threat. Because, of course, remember, Xue Fei was eliminated in the first day of play by Haruto Shinozuka. So Team China already losing one of their 5 stars on the men's side. You've got to tighten the screw.
2-1.
Remember, we're going to have a new champion here. If history's to mean anything, Wong Chu-chin's the favourite despite being world number 2.
2-all.
From history to future, what about him? Where will his journey take us? It will be exciting to find out. This we consider the early stages of the narrative about Leonardo Iizuka. Still, most of his experience out there has been on the junior circuit. He recently played in a youth contender event, for example, in Berlin.
4-2.
But there's a lot to be said for these sorts of experiences when you're a young athlete. You go away, you reflect, you learn, you analyse, you think and hopefully not overthink. That's where a good coach comes into play. And no
5-2.
doubt he will have enormously enjoyed the experience of taking on Wong Chu-chin. Good call now to bring the timeout into play. But one imagines he'll come away from it thinking, yes, I like this chance. It's not going to be the last chance. I'm going to be back. I'm going to do this again. I'm going to win in the future.
Assim atrasado, é difícil deixar curtinha e ele cobre bem em cima da mesa. Uma bola difícil de jogar. Tentar ficar um pouquinho mais perto, tentar agredir, tentar um flip, 20 aqui. Pode até abrir um pouco mais, não tão rápido, não tão forte para entrar em jogo, mas aí tem que seguir o jogo, sequência. Tá? Tem que torcer que para mim.
Sidelines, Thiago Monteiro giving the guidance to Leonardo Iizuka.
5-2. Two, 6.
Wow. Goodness.
Iizuka had absolutely no idea that serve was going to come long to middle. He was bamboozled.
2,
But you know
7.
what a good coach like Thiago Monteiro would say? They would say, it's not the big things that you're doing wrong, it's just the little things. It's quite a sad thing
8-2.
because so many young players go astray because they believe it's the big things that they're doing wrong. But they're probably just overcomplicating the little things.
8-3.
I go back to my previous life as an educator, as a teacher of children, and one of the things I believed in most strongly was always ask the question, what are you going to keep the same? Not just what are you going to change? Because otherwise people can get into a very negative mindset. They can think that they're always doing something wrong, when actually a lot of the time they're doing most things right and just need to make a few small adjustments.
You can end up getting the yips. We call it the yips, don't we? And a lot of people, when Wang Chu-chin was struggling, thought that, you know, Wong was getting the yips, but he wasn't. It was just a psychological block. Even the world number 2 has had his struggles.
But he's close to the win here.
4-9.
Little reminder of what this teenager from Brazil can do. It is now the moment
4.
for Wong Chu-chin to end these dreams of a huge upset for Leonardo Iizuka.
11-4.
His fans are thrilled. They've seen the victory that they hoped for and that they believe would happen. And indeed, there was never any sign it would be anything but a comfortable win for Wong Chu-chin. Congratulations to him. Congratulations to the world number 2. 11-3, 11-3, 11-5, 11-4. He has beaten Leonardo Iizuka. The young Brazilian departs the competition, but let's just call that chapter 1 that's over. Many more chapters still to come in his career.
A very, very polished performance there from Wang Chu-chin. It was a pleasure to watch Leonardo Iizuka. What a great experience for him to get to play Wang Chu-chin here at the World Championships on Table 1. The second seed will go through to face either Wang Chu-chin, Wang Chunting, the Penhold legend from Hong Kong, China, or Thibaut Porret of France.
That is an absolute chalk and cheese prospect as a third round encounter. Very interesting. 23-minute contest. Wang Chu-chin beating Leonardo Iizuka. The young Brazilian showing us glimpses of the player that he is going to become in the future. But for now, he has to take a back seat. But there's no shame in that. Many take a back seat to Wang Chu-chin. He will be hoping his fans will be hoping that everyone takes a backseat to him as his dreams of becoming the world champion go on. And we have got an enthralling prospect coming your way soon. Sun Ying-sha and Pyeon Song-gyong, a player who was so entertaining at the Olympic Games. Now they meet at the World Championships. Sun Ying-sha has a tough task coming up.
Is set to be a year like no other. Repco Supercars Championship will be contested across 13 huge rounds, 6 states and 2 countries. It is showtime! More racing, more unpredictability, always evolving, always entertaining, always unforgettable.
Fastest riders, the most intense battles, every race, every turn, every heartbeat, live and on demand. This isn't just racing, this is MotoGP 2025. Stream it on SPO TV now.
Welcome back to the Lusail Sports Arena. We've had a pulsating morning of action already on day 3 of these World Table Tennis Championships, and much more still to come. Next up, defending champion, world number 1, China's hero Sun Ying-sha will take to the table, but she won't have an easy match in store. We'll get on to that a little later on, but that's the story of the day so far. Wang Chuqin, the world number 2 in the men's competition, brushing aside Leonardo Izuka of Brazil in straight games, safely through to the next round. The Swedish pair, Carlsen and Chabry, dispatched 3 games to 1 earlier on, and plenty more action still to come. The Lebrun brothers, France's finest, looking to continue their domination in men's doubles. So that is the Lusail Arena with a capacity of 15,000 plus, which will be packed to the rafters this week for the tantalizing action on the table. The stage is set, the lights are low, but these stars will shine. And of course, there is another arena rather, that is being used for this elite event. The Qatar University Sports Complex is out into the Lusail Arena. Wonderful setting, perfect setting for the stars of the world sport to show us what they can do. 2 tables inside this arena. But let's head back to the University Arena. Table 6 here. And Jae-hyun going the distance.
Potential banana skin.
Danger averted for him. Congratulations indeed, and we look forward to seeing him through in the next round. And this is a really impressive setting for this competition in Doha, and we can see backstage a glimpse behind the scenes as the athletes prepare to step out onto this huge stage. Well, speaking of the big stage, we saw her in the quarter-finals of the Paris Olympic Games. Pushed Hina Hayata all the way, took her to 7 games, and that is no mean feat, is it, Gavin? She's going to be dangerous today.
Yeah, Sun Ying Sha will know all about the challenge that awaits her. She certainly won't take this one lightly.
No, absolutely not, and they know each other very well indeed. We'll get into their head-to-head in a moment, but that's what we've got in store. The stars in action today. We've got Sun Ying Sha, of course, the defending champion, and the pressure, the expectation will be on the Lebrun brothers. They had a very interesting match in their first round yesterday, taken to 5 by a lesser-known Spanish pair, so they might feel like they've got a point to prove against the Iranians today. Of course, the expectation always on the Chinese pair, Wang Manyu, Kuai Man in the women's doubles. They eased their way through their opening round match yesterday, looking very strong indeed. Barely out of first gear, so we look forward to seeing a bit more of them in action as well later. Of course, the Chinese always so well supported. There are plenty of fans who've made their way from China across to Doha. Chinese flags are peppering the stands inside this arena, and this is the player they have all come to see. The world champion, the defending champion, the #1 by quite some distance, and she is so well supported in China. She's the most recognizable sports person in the country. And the fans flock to see her wherever she goes, and here she comes. Let's listen to the roar as she is introduced to the crowd inside the Lusail Arena. This is Sun Ying Sha, the defending champion, looking cool, looking calm. She gives nothing away. This is the woman who'll be hoping to cause a massive upset. Well, will there be an upset today? The Chinese ace facing Pyun Sung-kyung, who turned heads with a breakthrough run to the quarterfinals at the Paris Olympic Games. Can she pull off an upset here? This would be the most almighty of upsets against Sun Ying Sha, who is the champion-elect. Of course, this is just the round of 64, the second round, the best of 7. And this is where Sun Ying Sha will be hoping to continue her title defense. The head-to-head overwhelmingly in favor of the world #1. This is the 6th meeting between the pair, but they have been quite close in recent years. They faced each other in the quarterfinals of the Asian Games in Hangzhou in China in 2023. Sun Ying Sha took that one 4 games to 1, and more recently they met at the Asian Championships in Astana last year. Sun Ying Sha was really pushed, winning 3 games to 2 in the quarterfinal. So umpire will be overseeing proceedings today, and we await the coin toss. Of course, the ever-present Marlin. There's no better man to have in your corner. His expertise, his insights, and just a calming presence for these Chinese players under the glaring pressure of the World Championships.
Okay, fish, red or black? Red, black for you. Black. Receive. Edge side. Okay.
Well, Sun Ying Sha wins the toss, and she'll be expected to win the match, but she will be very, very wary of her opponent, the 23-year-old, ranked 67 in the world, a career best of 54 in September 2024. That eye-catching run to the quarterfinals of the Olympic Games. She is an integral part of the national setup, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. She is a linchpin in that national team. Still searching for her first title, and it's unlikely it will be here this week, but you never know, there could be an upset on the cards. And Gavin, what do you make of this player, this challenger to Sun Ying Sha's dominance?
Well, I think it's important to mention, Rebecca, that world rank of 67 does not do her any justice at all. I think she's far and away above that level. I think she's easily inside the top 20, 25 in the world in terms of the level that she can produce at any moment. And she'll certainly be looking to bring her best here against Sun Ying Sha, and she'll need it if she wants to challenge.
Absolutely, and in the first round, she beat Lucia Zavaleta of Costa Rica in straight games on Monday, 11-2, 11-2, 11-4, 11-2. So she's dropped very few games en route to this one. So very much full of confidence. And we talked about that head-to-head, the 6th meeting now between this pair, and you'd have to go all the way back to 2018. That's the last time the world #1 kept a clean sheet against Pyeong Song-kyung. That was in the round of 16 at the Youth Olympics. So these two have come up the rankings together. They've come through the system together, and they've known each other an awful long time. But Sun Ying-sha, very much the dominant force in this matchup.
Trying to serve. Level. Level. Left. Level. Left one.
And what can we expect? What kind of matchup can we expect to see here, Gavin? Pyeong looking for that first win. What's going to be the key to getting past Sun Ying-sha today?
I mean, that's the question that every player on the circuit wants to know the answer to. I think today we're going to see a fast and furious. We're going to see backhand-to-backhand exchanges a lot of the time. It will be interesting to see which player can open up the body, try to get a little bit more of their forehand in. And I think the key here for a victory will be you've got to cut out as many mistakes out of your game. Try and have total consistency.
Yeah, total consistency is something we certainly associate with the world #1. There's that backhand to backhand exchange we were talking about with a forehand thrown in for good measure at the end then. It's a great start for the top seed.
And a lovely little just change of direction there. You saw her just slightly guiding the ball out to the Pyeong Song-kyung backhand with her forehand.
Lightning start for the top seed, and we'll see her in action later as well in the mixed doubles, seeded 2nd alongside Wang Chuqin. Busy week indeed.
A nice little change of rhythm there. You saw the shovel serve that we so often see in the women's game. Really well placed. Forced Sun Ying-sha to use her forehand receive. Just popped up to offer a chance. It was well taken.
Just a glimpse there at the crowd holding their banners aloft. She is out and out the most well-respected, revered sportswoman in China.
It'll be interesting to see how the crowd reacts now throughout this game. I was just down there on the field of play, Rebecca, watching Wang Chuqin, and the crowd were very, very noisy. Although he didn't have a whole lot of difficulty, we didn't have too many tense moments, but it could be a different story here in this match.
Sun Ying-sha is making this look easy at the minute. Of course, it's not easy what she's doing, but that's just testament to how much of a talent this player is. Quickly into a 6-point lead. Wow, incredible strength. She's just got every aspect of the game covered, hasn't she, Gavin? She's got speed, she's got strength, she's got tactical guile.
She's also so imposing on the table. It seems like she has so much time in between every shot. And that strikes fear into your opponent. You feel like you've got to make quicker decisions than you really do.
Well, that was a masterclass from Sun Ying-sha, 11 games to 2. Wonderful start in this round of 64. Pyeon Sung-kyung barely got a look in that opening game. Can we expect to see her growing into this match? We know what she's capable of. But Sun Ying-sha setting the standard there. Incredible opening game for her. Well, here's a look at the top 16 seeds here in Doha. Sun Ying-sha, top of the pile, leading China's 1, 2, 3 and 4. The Japanese in hot pursuit, Miwa Harimoto, the best of the rest. With Bernadette Soch making an appearance at 11, the top-seeded European player here. Adriana Diaz, their 14th seed. We'll see her in action a little later on as well. So this field is stacked with quality from top to bottom. Now then, Pyeon Sung-kyung on the receiving end of a bit of a thrashing in the opening game. What will be going through her head, Gavin Maguire, as she heads into this second?
I believe she's just got to scratch that one out of her memory, really, Rebecca. Some uncharacteristic shots there from her, but also it is to mention the quality of Sun Ying-sha, how much pressure that she's placing on her opponent at all times. Small apology there, the ball clipped the edge of the table. Clipped our golden line.
1, 2.
Pyeon Sung-kyung won't mind.
3, 1.
Those couple of points that she's now got on the board have given her a bit of a spring in her step for Pyeon. Interesting to see how she pushes on, if she gets some kind of momentum now from this.
Good change of direction there from Sun Ying-sha. First backhand cross and then immediately down the line on the next one.
Shah striking that with real aggression, and it's hard to compute, isn't it, just how good she is, Gavin. And you know, you're a player who's played at 7 World Championships, and I ask you this all the time, but in your prime, how hard would it have been for you to take even a point off Sun Ying-sha?
Really nice there from Pyeon Sung-kyung. Sorry, Rebecca, I'm not avoiding your question, although I will avoid the answer. I don't really like the answer because Sun Ying-sha is absolute top quality. We've seen her compete against the Chinese national team on the men's level, and she's taken them all close. So, for me, no chance.
And that's not you being modest, that is just absolute honesty, because Sun Ying-sha is just one of those once-in-a-generation talents.
5-4.
But this is good from the world number 67, managing to keep touch in these opening stages of game number 2.
uncharacteristically off balance there. Sun Ying-sha trying to play a running forehand, stepping around. Just striking our net post.
Will this be cause for concern for the top seed?
I'm not sure she's ever concerned, even when it's 3-3-9-9. Just feel like Sun Ying-sha has a lot of variation at the moment. She's changing what she's doing constantly. Here, looking like she's going to play short, and then a quick change long into Pyong Sung-young's middle, catching her off guard. It's that level for Pyong Sung-young, not knowing what's going to happen next. No level of anticipation because of Sun Ying-sha's quality. And even there, one more time, you can see soft backhand-to-backhand trading as soon as an opportunity provides itself, stepping around and faking out wide into Pyong Sung-young's backhand. Incredibly difficult to deal with.
That's H5.
Sun Ying-sha serving incredibly well. If you look at the serve success, over 70%. Just so consistent. Incredible attack from Sun Ying-sha, wrapping up the second game, 11 points to 5. Pushed a little harder in the second, but certainly the gulf in quality evident to see as soon as she pulled away. Sun Ying-sha with a 2-games-to-love lead in this round of 64, looking incredibly dangerous. Well, this is a best of 7. There is still time for Pyong Sung-young to attempt to assert herself in this one. We know that she's capable of challenging the big names and going the distance, if we think back to that incredible run at the Paris Olympics, but certainly Sun Ying-sha is just head and shoulders above at the minute. But first point of the game going the way of the player from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, ranked 67 in the world.
Shah has looked absolutely bulletproof as we've gone through this contest. It is worth mentioning, in this best-of-7 format that you mentioned, Rebecca, there's always a moment that even the world's best will take a slight dip. It's only natural. But Pyong Sung-young has to be ready for when that moment comes. And that moment doesn't look like it's arrived just yet. Sun Ying-sha still firing on all cylinders.
Just utterly imperious. Marlin on his feet, likes what he sees. attacking play from Pyeong to get the better of the top seed in that rally. A confidence-boosting point for her, I'd imagine.
Very nice from Pyong Sung-young there. Little bit of short play at the table. We saw in the first two games, Sun Ying-sha was not afraid to push long, play long, tried to counter-attack when she needed. I feel if Pyong Sung-young can get into that short game a little bit more, it could serve her well going forward.
It's not something we see too often. Sun Ying-sha falling behind. It's just the single point, though. Still, this is much better from the world number 67. Looks to be growing into this match as it wears on. Sun Ying-sha just too strong. She's got such an impressive forehand, doesn't she, Gavin?
Yeah, any opportunity where the ball pops up, even a little bit, she's all over it. Completely dominates the table, given any opportunity with that forehand.
Sun Ying-sha first ascended to the top spot in the world rankings in February of 2022, and apart from
5-4.
a brief interruption where Chang Meng reclaimed the top position for 7 weeks, Sun Ying-sha has been top ever since. Almost 3 years now that she's been the dominant force in women's table tennis.
Really nice spin up there from Pyong Sung-young. Feel like this is her moment, Rebecca. Slight dip in Sun Ying-sha's form.
Well, we have to remember that she did take 2 games off Sun Ying-sha in a best of 5 the last time they met last year, so we know that she's capable of pushing her.
She'll be really happy with that one. This is the rally, the backhand-to-backhand trading that we haven't seen so much of from Pyong Sung-young. Finally able to get into the rallies, control the one.
And the momentum very much with
7-5.
Pyong now. 6 of the last 8 points have gone her way. Interesting to see how she builds on this.
Want a few more of those, Sun Ying-sha. Great service, little bit of topspin. Popped up by Pyong Sung-young.
It's a very confident point from the world number 67. You know, relinquishing that lead, but managing to draw level again shows a great mental resilience.
There, 8-all.
Spins in the celebration. She moves just a point ahead, but 9-8 in the third game. Very different to the opening two. Sunyoung Sha utterly dominant in those two games, but Pyeong really giving her a run for her money now. This is shaping up to be an exciting end to this third game.
8-9.
You can hear the crowd cheering the name of Sunyoung Sha. She attempts to convert the first of 2 game points and take a 3-game lead in this second round match. A stomp of defeat and frustration for Sunyoung Sha. Another chance though in the crowd, once again getting behind their player. Game point. You could hear a pin drop inside the Lusail Arena. Sunyoung Sha's legion of fans deathly quiet ahead of that point. She got it over the line. 11 points to 9, pushed all the way. But let's head across to table 9, where there's been a huge upset. Dan Cho, the German, is out, and Gavin Maguire, you've got something to say about this mistake. Let's head down to the field of play first of all. Well, let's head to Dang Cho first. Big upset, Gavin. That's a personal friend of yours, Tom Jarvis.
Tom Jarvis, you little dancer. What a result that is for him. Career best.
Well, let's hear now from Fraser Riley. Fraser, what can you tell us?
Wow, I mean, what an unbelievable performance there from Tom Jarvis. He turned what would have been the most regrettable match of his career into the biggest career win of his life. It was 3-0 up on Dang Cho before the Germans bounced back, forced a decider. Incredible upset there on table 4. Jarvis is through to face the winner of either Martin Allegro or Julian Churita.
Yeah, thanks, Fraser. Incredible result for Jarvis and Gavin Maguire, celebrating inside the commentary box as well, because they are good friends, and I'm sure that you'll speak to him later on after that match. But we turn our attention back to the task in hand for Sunyoung Sha, a game away from sealing her place in the next round. But that last game, Gavin, was perhaps one that she'd want to forget.
Yeah, she went really close there, Pyeong Sunyoung. Started to produce more of what we've seen from her before, so although she lost, there is slightly encouraging signs, and if she can keep that level, she'll have a chance again in this one. The only problem here is Sunyoung Sha, at 3 games up, starts to relax even more so than she has been. And that's when she's at her most dangerous. Nice short ball there from Pyong Sun-young. It did come up slightly, offering Sun Yingsha a chance, but it was just that extra bit wide. Really nice placement. How has Sun Yingsha won that rally? Pyong Sun-young did everything, carved it out perfectly. Changing direction quickly with her backhand punch. Somehow Sun Yingsha stays up close to the table.
3-4.
She's like a brick wall.
How frustrating is it for someone like Pyong, who did nothing well, played incredibly well in that rally and still couldn't find a way through?
There's no more frustrating feeling in table tennis when you are doing everything. You're putting absolutely everything into your shots. You're doing everything you're supposed to. And somehow your opponent has an answer for it all.
Sun Yingsha serving incredibly well, very consistent. And serve almost double the serve success of her opponent in this one.
Time out.
We've got the first timeout called of this match. And perhaps unsurprisingly, Gavin, Pyong calling for the break in this crucial game. If she doesn't make a mark in this one, she is out of the competition, and she's elected to take a breather here and get some words of advice. Let's go across then to table 7, another match that's gone the distance. We've had quite a few epic battles in Doha this week. Look at the reaction from Freitas as he seals his place in the next round. Wonderful to see. Congratulations to him on a hard-fought victory there. Well, will the timeout have had the desired effect? Pyong Sun-young just 2 points adrift. Not too much in it, but still these are crucial moments in this fourth game, this must-win game, and can she get a game on the board? That is the question, and I'm going to ask to you, Gavin. Do you have an answer to that?
Pyong Sun-young will just be hoping for a shift in the momentum here. That little break will hopefully do it for her, and really good play from her once again. But Sun Yingsha, too much in the locker.
And just how hard is it to anticipate these kinds of shots? Because Sun Yingsha seems to have just an extra split second or so than all of her opponents.
I mean, there's a prime example. A really good serve long. Sun Yingsha slightly caught by surprise. But how quick is she back on balance and ready?
Well, it's not the restart that Pyong would have wanted. Sun Yingsha firmly regaining the momentum here to win the next 2 consecutive points.
Destruction with her forehand there, Sun Yingsha. She's having fun now, crunching down the line to finish.
She brings up 6 match points. This has been an absolute demolition job from Sun Yingsha, defending champion. Well, title defense firmly intact. Sun Yingsha utterly imperious in straight games. A masterclass from the world #1. And that sends a real warning sign to any contenders. Sun Yingsha in blistering form, dispatches Pyeon Sung-kyung in straight games to seal her place in the round of 32. Next up, she'll face a French opponent. It'll be either Charlotte Lutz or Jianan Wan. They are in an all-French battle for a place in the round of 32 and the chance to face the incredible Sun Ying-sha.
Sun Ying-sha will be absolutely delighted with that victory. It looks like it was easy, but absolutely not. Going into that match, she'll have known how incredibly difficult an opponent Pyeong Sung-kyung would have been. So to overcome her with that kind of scoreline, it's the perfect start for Sun Ying-sha's singles campaign.
A look then at how the match was won. Just half an hour is all it took for Sun Ying-sha to power through. More than twice the number of points of her opponent, though Pyeon Sung-kyung put up a very, very impressive fight in the third game, pushed Sun Ying-sha all the way. Took her 2 game points to get that one over the line, but nevertheless, title defense intact. Well, from one world number...
Here we come. ITTF World Table Tennis Championships Finals 2025.
The heat is on in Qatar. The action will be hot, super hot.
Don't miss it.
Replay, we don't care about what they say, and I go on.